I live in the greatest nation on earth. I have a great profession. It's great to be alive. There are plenty of opportunities for me to be successful today. Then your mind will come up with reasons why it's true. Small thinking people who draw negative conclusions will find that their minds will bring them lots of negative thoughts. It's your choice. Choose the positive. Go first class all the way. Cement your big thinker persona by going first class all the way. Let the shoes, suits, shirts, ties, coats, and accessories, such as watches and jewelry, tell the world that you understand and value quality. If you don't have a big budget right now, buy fewer items, but better quality. Let everything you do and own convey an image of importance. Own a first-class car, carry first-class luggage, go to first-class restaurants, and shop in first-class stores. I learned this lesson when I bought a football team in New Jersey. The New Jersey Generals were part of a little league called the United States Football League. I signed Doug Flutie and Herschel Walker for the 1985 season. In 1986, we filed a $1.5 billion antitrust lawsuit against the NFL, claiming that the NFL conspired to monopolize football. We won, but we only got $1 trebled, plus interest, for a total of $3.76. Later, we collected $6 million in legal fees. I thought it might be an inexpensive way into the NFL. I didn't spend a great deal of money, and I gave it a shot. In the end, I would have been better off paying up, going first class, and buying an NFL team. It's like buying Fifth Avenue real estate. It's the way to go. I learned something from that whole USFL experience. Go first class. When I married Melania in January 2005, people said, "Donald, you've had big weddings before. Why don't you have a little private ceremony with some close friends and family?" Sure, I was busy and had a lot of things on my plate, but life is not all about business. You also have to take the time to live. I live big. I said, "No way. This is an opportunity to celebrate and have fun. It's Melania's big day, and mine too, and I want to make it special and exciting for her and for all our friends and family." Ditch your doubts. Big thinkers conquer their doubts. Doubt leads directly to failure. If you don't know how things are going to turn out, you're not alone. None of us really know. You could be hit by a bus crossing the street. Nobody knows. When in doubt, believe in yourself and assume that you'll succeed. Nobody can do this for you. Do not grab for someone else's reassurance when you're feeling inadequate. Develop your own self-belief. Oftentimes, you'll see somebody that is not likely to be successful, but becomes successful, only because he or she has the ability to think big. A case in point is former President Jimmy Carter. He's a very nice man, but he wasn't my kind of president. I was more into the Ronald Reagans of the world. Nevertheless, after President Carter's term as president was up, he asked to meet me, and of course I agreed. I didn't know what he wanted, in that I had never supported him, and was actually very vocal on how poorly he handled our captives in Iran. As an example, when it was announced Ronald Reagan won the election, the Iranians immediately turned them over to us. If Jimmy Carter had won, they'd probably still be there. Nevertheless, we had a wonderful conversation prior to getting to his point, which was, would I consider making a $50 million contribution to the Jimmy Carter Library? Here was a man that I had not supported, had not voted for, and yet he was in my office asking for a $50 million contribution. I said to myself, and told the story many times, that Jimmy Carter, despite his image to the contrary, had an ability to think big. That's why he ran for president, and others did not. As it turned out, Jimmy Carter is one of the few people who did a much better job after his presidential term than he did during it. Another example on the opposite side is Mario Cuomo. I supported Mario Cuomo for many years, and after he was out of office, when I asked him for a modest and totally positive favor, he didn't do it. That showed great disloyalty to me, because I was in fact so loyal to him. In any event, at the time, he was the choice to run against first President Bush. Had he run, sadly for the country, he probably would have won. He would have been a terrible president, but he didn't have the ability to think big, and at that time, Bush's poll ratings were very good. As it turned out, a brilliant guy and friend of mine from Arkansas, Bill Clinton, ran and won. He has the ability to think big, and his wife Hillary, who is a fantastic person, also has the ability to think big. That's why Bill Clinton won the election. When others were unwilling to tread against those huge poll numbers of George Bush, Bill Clinton had no fear. When Bush's numbers dropped like a rock, he was in a position to win, and he took advantage of that position. Bill Clinton is a great guy with courage. Mario Cuomo is a disloyal guy without courage. People will take their cues from you. If you believe you can do something, other people will believe it too. Give off the attitude that you are important and worth listening to. People are busy thinking about themselves. They'll take a quick look at your face to see if you think you are valuable and important to yourself, and they will accept your opinion of yourself. They will see, by your face and your bearing, that you are self-powered, a leader who makes things happen. If you value yourself, others will respect and value you. The lion is afraid of the little lion tamer, not the big strong guy who shows fear of the lion. Do not look for approval from others. That is a sure sign of weakness. Many people will be jealous or perceive you as a threat. Many people cave in and hide their light under a barrel, rather than standing up to the pressure of displaying a big thinker's attitude. Don't give in. Your belief generates the power, the skill, and the energy to succeed at achieving your goals. Doubt saps your will to succeed and signals to everyone involved that you are going to fail. Abolish all doubts. I'm not talking about putting on airs or acting arrogant. Simply believe in your own competence and worth. Make an accurate assessment of your strengths and abilities and match your attitude to your abilities. Having a big ego is a good thing. Somebody once asked me, what's the difference between a blowhard or a braggart and somebody that gets it done? I recall a time when Muhammad Ali used to get up and say, I'm the greatest, I'm going to whoop you, I'm going to destroy you, to his opponents. Ali was fighting George Foreman in the famous Rumble in the Jungle. George, at the time, was invincible. He couldn't be beaten. He was the hardest puncher Ali ever fought. He punched harder than Joe Frazier or Sonny Liston. He could take the hardest punches and would never go down. Also, he was much younger than Muhammad. George Foreman was such a great fighter that he knocked out Joe Frazier and knocked him down 6 times. Muhammad Ali was past his prime. What he went out and did that night was amazing. Ali was smart. He had watched videos of Foreman's previous fights, and he didn't tell anybody, not even his trainer. He watched a video of Foreman fighting 3 people in one night. Foreman knocked the first guy out immediately. These were all journeyman fighters. The fight with the second guy was closer, but he knocked him out after 4 rounds. In the fight with the third guy, Foreman almost did not win. He had a hard time. Muhammad saw this, and he knew Foreman's weakness. He gets tired. For 5 rounds of the fight, Ali didn't throw a punch. Ali did the rope-a-dope and just leaned on the ropes and let Foreman throw punches to his body. Foreman had trouble hitting his face. Angelo Dundee, his trainer, said, Champ, we can't let you take this anymore." Ali said, "What, are you crazy? I'm doing great." They didn't know what he was talking about. By the 5th round, Foreman was finished. Then all of a sudden, in the 6th round, Ali started pummeling Foreman, who had nothing left. Foreman was completely helpless, and Ali knocked him out in the 8th round. This was the greatest fight ever. Muhammad Ali talks big, but he also delivers the goods. My advice is, yes, have a big ego, but don't be egotistical. A big ego is a positive thing. Some other great examples of people who get it done are George Steinbrenner, Bob Kraft, and Bob Tisch. George has taken the New York Yankees to tremendous success, as have Bob Kraft of the New England Patriots, who is a truly great manager and thinker, and the late Bob Tisch of the New York Giants. Bob was a great businessman who bought the New York Giants against a tide of doubts and at a low price, and then did a fantastic job. His family is running it well, along with the Mara family. Champions come at all levels in the sports industry, whether in the performance or the business side. A current champion of note is Tom Brady of the New England Patriots. Tom is one of the great quarterbacks in football history, and his golf game isn't too bad either. Tom and I play at my Trump National Golf Club in Westchester, and he's not only a champ, but a great guy. If he played more golf, he'd be as good as there is. He has amazing talent. Get in the habit of speaking your mind. Speak like a big thinker. Fear often closes people's mouths when they want to speak. Get in the habit of speaking out in business meetings and social gatherings. Make sure you know what you want to say. Then speak loudly and clearly with the attitude that you have something important to say. Don't be afraid of what other people think. Remember, people are not as smart as you think they are, or they think they are. I fired Christy Frank in the 5th week of the 1st season of The Apprentice, mainly because she didn't speak up. In episode 5, Christy was in charge of setting up her own bazaar in New York. She did a great job.